question on it. And the responses were helpful there, but we need to have, I think we should have a town hall style wide meeting on this so that we can all talk about what we want, what our vision is for this. For myself personally, I strongly believe that it should continue to have a strong kind of culture and arts presence to it. I know the school system has aspirations to move the Valley Road playing fields up there as well. I think that's another good use. I also think that we should at least have on the table the possibility of looking at more affordable housing there. And finally, I've heard from several people, and I think this is a great suggestion, to actually have our first community center there and repurpose one of the buildings, which we desperately need in this community for the children as well.
For the CARES committee, we actually did a site visit to Homefront, and site visits for me are where we really get inspiration, be able to see that we don't have to necessarily recreate the wheel. And so when we visited that organization, which really oversees addressing homelessness, we saw a community kitchen, a child care center that was affordable, we saw laundry resources, everything in one place that really supported their community to thrive. So I would love also to see a real resource hub that meets different community member needs. I would like to see us go to the community needs assessment that was just completed to really identify what are the priorities of the community center and how to really address them with it. And I would really like to see the housing, the missing middle, where we have this conversation a lot, but in the nonprofit world, there's often a lot of talk, but even more doing. And so I'd like to see us take action for the missing middle with housing for Westminster.
Thank you. I do believe that this was a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, and our council acted and purchased this property. What I would love us to think forward on how to use this property is fiscal responsibility. What I would really like to see is something that will be able to sustain itself and bring enough revenue moving forward that your kids and my kids are not going to be later on trying to deal with a property that is we're effectively borrowing against our children's future. The other part, because I interact a lot with high school children and I ask them what they would like to see in their friends, and I hear a desire for places to be together, right? And I don't know what form it will take, but whether that would be a small outdoor place or maybe it is a community center, I would love for us to build something fiscally sustainable, environmentally sustainable for all of us to be together.
The other folks up here touched on a lot of the things that we heard from the community, and I agree are priorities, the arts and culture uses, the school uses that will be located there. I do want to mention a couple of things that did not get talked about. One is the McCarter, which is obviously an arts and cultural institution, has applied for a really significant state grant. We're optimistic that they'll get it, and they could locate their educational programming, which they have a lot of, camps and after-school drama workshops on this campus, and it would relieve a lot of pressure on the current McCarter facilities. So I think that that's part of the mix, and you know, I do think that having some housing there as well, and you know, that goes back to my comments earlier about Princeton preference housing, and they have an opportunity there.